Hola, hello. This performance-based project is by PBP-TDeLaTorre. It is based on Wiggins and McTeague's Understanding by Design, or backwards design. This performance-based project will cover a Spanish 3 class unit, Chapter 5. Wiggins and McTeague's Understanding by Design includes Stage 3 learning plan. This final section explains learning strategies and includes the acronym WHERE to. This helps students and teachers to self-assess whether student learning is actually occurring. The W. Where is the unit going, and what is expected? This helps the teacher to know where the students are coming from, what prior knowledge they have, what are their prior interests. H. Does this lesson hook all the students and hold their interests? E. Does the lesson equip students, help them to experience the key ideas and explore those key issues? R. Does the lesson provide opportunities for the student to rethink and to revise their understandings in their work? E. Does it allow students to evaluate their work and its implications? T. Is it tailored? Is it personalized to the different needs, the different interests and abilities of learners? And lastly, O. How will we organize the sequence of learning? Will it be organized to maximize initial and sustained engagement as well as effective learning? The 7 research-based strategies shown have been incorporated into my performance-based project. I then aligned them with the WHERE to acronym previously stated from Wiggins and McTeague's Understanding by Design model. The first strategy, setting objectives and providing feedback, occurs at the beginning of the chapter, when goals and objectives are set and given to each student. They are posted on the board and are visible throughout the entire chapter. I will draw attention to them daily to make sure that students know where the unit is going and what is expected of them. Summarizing and note-taking occurs daily throughout the chapter. Students will not only be required to take formal notes, but also to summarize concepts. This is a strategy that helps hook and hold students' interests. Cooperative learning occurs several times, sometimes informally through the use of providing practice, but also more formally throughout the culture sections, where students will be broken up into cooperative learning groups where they will read and translate passages from Spanish into English and will participate in reciprocal teaching. 4. Assigning homework and providing practice. This strategy is used both in the classroom and at home. Students will be asked to practice within their homework assignments and when first learning a new concept. The teacher must be sure that the students understand the concept before assigning homework. This allows students to experience the key ideas and to explore the issues. Cues and questions are used when recalling previous knowledge that the students have learned. This provides students to rethink and revise their understandings. Within this lesson specifically, I ask the students to recall previous knowledge of the preterite tense and the present subjunctive and how both are formed. Advanced organizers are used daily in the Spanish classroom. Each student is required to have a notebook where all notes are kept. Conjugation boxes are used almost on a daily basis throughout these lessons as a form of an advanced organizer. This helps the teacher and the student to be organized. Reinforcing effort and providing feedback. This strategy is implemented by helping students be aware of their individual level of achievement in class. Rubrics are provided and feedback are provided on those rubrics. Lastly, Non-linguistic representations are used specifically in the Spanish classroom and in this unit when dealing with vocabulary. Students are asked to give non-linguistic representations in the form of pictures and words that are similar and different to help the students better engage in the learning of vocabulary.
Capítulo 5. Buenos o malos modales.
This is chapter 5, or capítulo 5, of the Spanish 3 book, and this is the PowerPoint that would be displayed on the interactive whiteboard within my classroom. For the purposes of this performance-based project, I will speed through some parts of the lessons, only stopping to emphasize research strategies that are used and incorporated within this project. In reality, this lesson would probably take place over the course of several days. However, again, for the purpose of this performance-based project, I will speed it up. After the goals and objectives have been set and given to each student and placed on the board, the next step will be to move on to the vocabulary. Each student will take out their notebook or advanced organizer and will open up to the appropriate page, where they will copy down each vocabulary word. When the vocabulary words have been copied, I will ask the students to repeat after me in Spanish. For example, el recién llegado, la recién llegada. The students will then repeat, and we will do this through every vocabulary word for the rest of the presentation. When this is completed, we will move on to another activity of vocabulary. Before going on with the next section of vocabulary, I will ask the students to hypothesize what they believe this chapter is going to be about. I will allow the students to answer and to give ideas. After that has occurred, we will begin with more repetition of the vocabulary. This is providing practice for students in oral proficiency and helping students to hear native speakers saying the vocabulary words. Here are some examples.
Saludos.
After hearing the words spoken, the students are asked to repeat it in Spanish and then to translate in English. For the next few slides, this is the same cadence that occurs.
Todos estaban sentados en la sala.
Again, the students repeat. After a few slides, I then ask students to individually come up to the whiteboard. They are then asked to press the sound button.
Jaime me invitó a cenar.
They individually are asked to say the words in Spanish and then to attempt to translate them. They are allowed to use their advanced organizers, which have all of the vocabulary words already written in it. However, I encourage them to recall this information from memory if they are able to. After we have completed a section, there are games that are able to take place on the interactive chalkboard. Students are able to form words. This is called a puzzle. The directions are to drag the word pieces on the box in the correct order to form the word. The word may be made up of 2 or 3 pieces. The students get very excited and are putting into practice the vocabulary words that they are learning. For example, they could come up here and say me. It's a little difficult, as you can see. Hiya. Then they will check their word, see that it is correct, and I ask the students again to tell me what the word means in English. We go on until all of these pieces are completely gone, and when you click when you're done, and it will give you a score. In this case, we cannot find a score, but if you complete the entire puzzle, it gives them a score of 100% or however many they did complete correctly. It's a fun activity to provide practice, and it's another opportunity for me to provide feedback to each individual student and to encourage their learning. Once the vocabulary section has been completed, I will move on to another form of non-linguistic representation, and I will begin this section by having students recall previous knowledge. I will ask students to recall their previous knowledge of the present tense. I will call on several students to come up to the interactive chalkboard and to remember their knowledge by entering the endings into the boxes. This is where the AR endings would be entered, and this is where the ER endings would be entered, as well as the IR. Once that is completed, I will display the correct endings, which are hopefully the same as what the students have recalled from their prior knowledge. If there are no questions, I will then move on to the present subjunctive and again ask them to recall their previous knowledge about the present subjunctive endings. After they have done that and students have come up to the interactive whiteboard and attempted these endings again, I will display the endings for the present subjunctive. When this has been completed, we will move on to the new grammar concept that they will learn. After the vocabulary section is completed, we will move on to the grammar section. The new concept being taught here is the imperfect subjunctive. Students will take out their advanced organizers and will continue to take notes and summarize the following slides. By this point, since we are in Chapter 5, students understand that the most important parts on these slides include those things that are highlighted or underlined, or the examples. I will continue teaching in this manner and ask the students to continue summarizing and to add to their organizers. When I have completed with the section and after questions have been answered, we will then do the following practice. Students will be asked to do the practice first in their notebooks, and then I will call on 5 volunteers to put the answers into the interactive chalkboard. They will type in the answers, this is obviously not the answer, and they will click check answers. All of them have to be complete, so each student will come and type the correct form of the verb in the imperfect subjunctive and check their answers. This gives immediate feedback, and it's an opportunity for students to check their understanding and for me to know if they have grasped the concept being taught. Once all of the grammar sections have been taught and practice has been provided and homework has been assigned, I like to give additional practice in listening comprehension and oral proficiency. I start this in the conversación section, where we watch a video, as you can see here, and then, as the directions say in Spanish, they must give 2 examples of things that Vicky or Alberto say that indicate both good and bad manners. We will type our responses here. I usually have a few students give several responses, but all students must do this activity in their advanced organizer. And as you can see, this is just a fun little video that when you press play,
Alberto, ¿estás listo? Tenemos que estudiar. Vamos.
They speak in Spanish. It's a neat activity and a great exercise for providing practice and being able to provide some feedback to the students. The last section before the self-check quiz is the culture section. This is where I incorporate cooperative learning into the classroom. Students are put into cooperative learning groups and are each given a section of the following story. Each group is asked to translate the words into English and are then asked to read their passages in Spanish to the class and to translate it for the class. I find this reciprocal teaching great. It's a break for all of the students from hearing my own lecture. It's very student centered, and I get to hear the students speak both in Spanish and to hear their translations in English. It's another way for me to provide feedback and for cooperative learning groups to occur in my classroom. This site also allows you to preview the sound, so if I don't want the students to speak it, but I would rather have them listen and do more listening comprehension, I can press the play button and it will speak in Spanish, as I will do now.
Si una persona o un grupo de personas está sentado en un café, una oficina o aún en casa y llega otra persona,
So that's just a little clip of how that would work, and then the students could go ahead and translate that into English. The last assignment given to the students at the end of the chapter and the end of the lesson is a prepárate para el examen, or a prepare for the exam. This is a self-check for achievement type situation and quiz. The students in an earlier screencast will already know how to access the World Languages Glencoe website, where they are able to see under Spanish language their Así se dice Level 3 2009 edition book. They enter as a student, they come over to the textbook navigation and find Capítulo 5, which is Chapter 5, and they find the Test Prep Assessment tab. Within this section, they are asked to do the Repaso del Capítulo Self-Check quiz. As you can see here, students are able to check answers to each of these questions. If they don't know the answer to a question, they are able to press the hint button that will direct them to different pages in their textbook that can possibly help them discover the answer to these questions. As you can see, I'm just filling in all of the answers. There's also a short answer at the bottom. Usually one or two will be at the bottom of the self-check quiz. And the really neat thing about this that I want to show you is that you are able to submit these answers, and it will provide immediate feedback to the student accomplishing this assignment, whether they're doing it at home or if we're doing this during lab time. And here again, they can type in whatever, and the program will go ahead and give you an answer. It will say out of 26 questions you answered 5 correctly, which is pretty good for just guessing. The students can go back and check their answers, but it will give, as you can see, it gives the students immediate feedback and where they can go to find the appropriate answers. Then I ask the students to email this self-check quiz to myself so that I'm able to check their written responses. And they just email the results. It's very easy, and this is the end of the chapter and the last practice that I provide before I give a study guide and a test for the students. And so I would just like to say thank you y gracias for listening to this performance-based project, and again, thank you.